What's up, guys? We're back here with my friend Aldo from Crusades of Motivation. It's Saturday night before Easter, and decided to come on live, shoot the shit a little bit, talk about a few subjects. How you doing, Aldo? What's going
I'm
on,
doing
brother?
amazing, man. I'm doing amazing, man. I'm enjoying my keeper. Ready to hang out with you, man. Thank you for having me over, man. It's always a blast to kick it.
Some
How
homemade
you
kefir.
doing?
For those, good, good. We were just talking before we came on about the kefir, and Aldo gave me the recipe. I like kefir, and for those of you that don't know, kefir is, for lack of a better term, it's like a liquid yogurt, and it's good
Mm.
stuff. It's really healthy stuff. It's good for your gut microbiome. It has a lot of good bacteria. It's a fermented food along the lines of sauerkraut, kimchi, uh, things like that. So Aldo gave me the secret recipe, which I can't give to anybody else. I can't pass it on, but I made my batch, so we're gonna give it a shot. So yeah, good stuff though. So we'll see how it tastes. I was just telling Aldo we're gonna give it a taste tomorrow, and we'll see how it turns out. So. Uh, so yeah, so Aldo, you're a YouTube guy, obviously. You're on Instagram, right? Are you on any
Yes.
other social media? Are you a Facebook guy too, or
Not a Facebook guy.
no?
I do Instagram a little bit. I kind
What
of
about
let
that?
it go a
What?
little bit though, man. I was kind of going hard for a little bit, about a year, and I let it
Hmm.
go. I only use it for my business now.
Okay. And what about your what about TikTok? You're not into that, right? Into the
Not
TikTok?
into that. Not yet. I haven't been
Yeah.
sold yet. How about you? Do you do TikTok?
No, I made an account, but it was a little out of my a little above my pay scale, only because I was concentrating on YouTube, and then I was putting stuff up on Instagram. And I recently got back into Facebook a little bit, only because, as I told you that I'm doing some online coaching and stuff, fitness and weight loss coaching. So I was kind of trying to work that into my Facebook page, and I hadn't been on there for quite some time. But the point I wanted to bring up was, I mean, obviously, again, like I'm doing the online coaching, so I went to Facebook and I promoted a little bit on YouTube and a little bit on Instagram, and I'd like to get it going more. So social media is here. I think it's here for good, right? It's not going anywhere. It's a part of our lives now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if you look at the statistics, how many people are on social media, how much time we spend every day on social media. I know growing up as a kid, all we had was, what was it, 7 or 8 TV channels. This is before, cable TV, and you had 1,000 choices. Uh, people, you watch TV for hours a day, and now it's social media. You know what I mean? If you look at the time that people log, and it's not just kids, it's
It's all of
adults
us.
just as much, if not more, than the kids on this thing. But and it can be a great tool. I mean, it's a learning tool. There's so much information out there. Um, but the part, like anything in life, what you don't like is the toxicity. And you see examples of that every single day, every single day, right? So, and there's always two sides to every story. Well, there's actually three, right? There's your side, my side, and then the truth. So people love to put up, and you know, I'm just an asshole with a cell phone and a social media account, right? So I can put up pretty much whatever I want, unless Facebook doesn't like it. They'll take it down, or they'll, kick you off or whatever. But general day-to-day opinions, if you put them up there, there's always going to be people that don't agree with it. So I'm not inclined to go on social media and just because somebody puts up something. For an example, right? I'm going to give you an example right here. I was on Instagram today, and I saw a post that a guy put up, and basically says, "How come our kids are so sick today?" Right? How come sickness is so relevant with, so rampant with our kids today? So then he started flashing through all of the processed food, the soda, basically inferring that this is why we're so sick, because we live on this poison, this junk food. And I agree with that.
Hmm.
That's not the whole story, but it's a big, big, big part of it, right? Um, but this guy took it a step further. He actually advocates a carnivore diet.
Mm.
So right away, you know, uh, some of these people are like, you know, it has nothing to do with the food. It's because these kids are in school all day and diseases pass from kid to kid and just these convoluted things. And, another woman said, well, you can't do that. Isn't it unhealthy to put a kid on a carnivore diet? Well, what would you rather do? Feed your kid fucking Pop Tarts and let him drink, wash it down with soda? You won't give him a piece of steak. You know what I mean? Um, but just some of the comments, and then what happens is, they'll make a comment like that, and then somebody will come back who agree or either agrees or doesn't agree, and then it just gets going, and before you know it, you'll have one comment that'll turn into like 50 comments, and just people going back and forth with each other, and nobody's going to win the argument. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's going to win the argument. Nobody's going to change my mind or your mind or anybody on there. Nobody's going to read a comment on Instagram and go, ah, fuck, you know what? I've been wrong all along here. I got to change the way I think. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'm sure you see it too, right? You agree? I mean, it's all over the place. I mean, there's enough of it that you see it every day,
Yeah, so
right?
much about. I lived it on my own experience. I mean, doing this YouTube shit and Instagram even. You're gonna get these people, the so-called keyboard warriors.
Exactly. That's probably the best term, you
you
know?
know, they get
Um,
and you know what? That's a big thing for me is doing this shit is to be open, really, to take whatever comes to you, because once you put it out here, it's almost like a public restroom for anybody to shit on. Um,
exactly. You have to be ready for it. You have to
hmm
have a thick skin for sure. If you're gonna put yourself out there, uh, you got to be ready for the criticism. And I've said before, I don't mind the criticism, but I don't like it from people who uh, really that's all they are is keyboard warriors. And it's always I noticed that the bulk of the negative comments I've gotten so far have been from people with no profile, with no picture, that have never posted a video. And I'm not saying yet because you don't post a video you can't make a comment,
hmm
but who are you, and what are your qualifications? You know what I mean?
hmm
Just to say like, because they love, and especially we do calisthenics, and it's constant. You'll see. I don't care who the guy is. He could be the best calisthenics athlete in the world, and you'll get some asshole again, usually with no profile. Uh,
uh-huh.
no, you're doing it wrong. Your finger is supposed to be this way, not that way, and you do. And it's crazy. But those are usually the people that make the most noise. you know. But I do notice on Instagram that's not always the case. There are people with somewhat of it with a profile or a picture, and they're not shy. They're not shy about getting into arguments, and I just think that's crazy. I mean, who has time for that shit? Who really
Yeah,
has time in their
yeah,
day for that?
that's social media, which Vinny, I'm so grateful for these platforms, man. I gotta say that I'm actually my generation. I lived where there was nothing. There was no social media. I lived through MySpace. I don't know if anybody remember MySpace. Then
MySpace. That's
right,
ancient. Yeah, that
that's
that was one of
ancient.
the
Yeah,
originals. That was one of the
yeah,
originals. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Which I don't even know why it never really got kept going. It died
yeah,
off. I
yeah.
thought it was so cool that you could put your theme song. You got the paper walls and stuff. Do you ever have
Yeah.
one of those?
I never did it. No, that was before.
Oh man, and then Facebook came along, then YouTube. I mean, I remember when YouTube, you couldn't find shit on YouTube. If you were to look for a tutorial on anything, there was nothing.
Yeah,
There was maybe one, maybe two.
yeah.
So I feel fortunate to live in between eras because that gives me a little bit of perspective on both sides. Which to the day, Vinny, I try to. In fact, I'm just going through a little detox, you could say, of being on YouTube because I catch myself just spending too much time in it,
Oh yeah,
and then I
yeah.
I'm I'm neglecting all the things that I should be doing. So I caught myself a few weeks ago, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna try to just spend certain times of the day into YouTube, which that's the one that I do the most for me, and I do it the most because it's warm, man. It's warm. It's like more connection, right? I was doing
Yeah,
Instagram, and that's what really got me away from Instagram. I felt like it was just so cold. It was just so distant, right?
yeah, mm-hmm,
And
yeah,
but I love the platform, and then I myself experienced this not too long ago. I had a guy telling me about my pull-ups because he said that I wasn't doing full range, right?
yeah,
And
yeah. The
and
whole
then
full range. Yeah,
yeah, and I said, oh well, thanks, thanks, I appreciate your comments, but who are you? I asked, and then the guy comes and tells me that he was a world famous calisthenics guy. I've been all over the world teaching, and I'm like, wow, right? I'm like, God damn, man. I'm like, I'm about to get a lesson from somebody that actually knows. I
yeah.
click on the profile,
Nothing.
nothing. I did
Yeah,
look at the name because he told me the name, and so I look at the name, and there was somebody that was a real person, but that was not that profile, right?
right, right.
So, I mean, I guess you can appreciate the criticism, but you can't really take it serious.
Well, the thing is too, is it like is it are they trying to be are they trying to be helpful? Is it constructive criticism? But most of it that I see is just criticism to try and tear people down,
Yeah.
which makes no sense. Like why would you look at somebody who's trying to do something to better themselves? And if, there are people putting themselves up on YouTube or any platform, and they're doing their workout, and why would you go on there and say you're fucked up, you're doing it wrong, you don't know what you're doing? Like, why would you make them feel any less? Why wouldn't you want to encourage them on it? you know my theory on that is that, if you're the type of person that would do that, um, and your first inclination is to go and just tear somebody down, or just give them negative criticism, you're taking you're into, like, you can't fucking you don't like yourself. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, you're projecting how you feel about yourself onto other people just to make yourself feel better. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's like you, in some sick way, like, tearing this guy down is going to make me feel better about my it's going to give me that 10 seconds of feeling, yeah, I told him I'm better than him, I know more than him, or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, if I can make this guy feel less than, if he feels less than, I'll feel a little more than, for even if it's for 10 seconds, because some miserable prick, in plain English, like that, it's not going to last long. He's just going to get that little hit of, yeah, I told him. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's crazy. So I saw this one, like I said, about the food. Um, and then I think I mentioned this one to you. So there's a woman on Instagram, and she's actually in her 70s, right? And she does powerlifting, and she's very unassuming. If you look at her, she's not a big brute of a woman, right? She's just a normal looking. She looks like somebody's grandmother. But anyway, so she put up a post on her Instagram saying, sugar for 20, eat desserts. I have a clean diet. I do my dishes at night. I go to bed at 9 o'clock. I get up at 5. I go to the gym. I do my weightlifting and this and that. Well, she got fucking bombarded
Mm.
with people like, no way to. I would literally rather die than not eat sugar. Um, like, why would you tell people not to eat sugar or eat dessert and enjoy their lives? Like, it was just i- incredibly stupid fucking comments. And this woman wasn't coming from a bad place. Again, she has every right to say what she wants. She's not hurting
Mhm.
anybody. She's saying, this is my life. This is what I do. Maybe you're interested in it.
Exactly.
But then, like, who the fuck are you to say? And like, really, if you think about that mentality, like, you're attacking somebody because they're saying they don't eat sugar, or like they don't eat dessert. You know what I mean? Like, and to make that statement, and you know what? That's not too far from the truth because there's a lot of people that would rather die than not eat sugar.
I mean, there's
That's
many.
how strong we're addicted to that shit.
There's many of them, and you know one thing that I noticed with us that do this YouTube shit and do do this. Well, I don't know how we call how can I call our group? Is it like a just trying to better ourselves, right? Because that's what we're doing here. You know, you trying to do that. Or brother Osiris, shout out to him. He's trying to do that. Seven Fitness. We're all trying to just be a better us, right? In our life. And at least for myself, man, I'm coming out here to like really show that it's these things help me in my life, and I want more people to have this, right? Like I come from a good place, man. I'm trying to.
Absolutely.
That's what my intentions are good, and to have, I think a lot of these people, man, I also think that you're trying to make them feel less, but it's the opposite that we're trying to do. At least I
Right.
like to believe that. At least most of us is trying to do that. Most of us want other people to get this shit going so they can feel this shit that we have, right? I believe so. I
Yeah.
like to believe so, right? And I think that's what the twist goes,
Yeah.
man, where they believe that we trying to be or express that we better than them, and I think that's what the shit goes
And
twisted, you know.
that's the furthest thing from the truth.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the furthest thing from the truth. You know what I mean? Um, but it's right. What does it go back to? Show me your friends and I'll show you your future.
Mhm.
Show me the show, you're the average of the five people that you hang out with most.
Mhm.
That's true.
Mhm.
I believe that without a shadow of a doubt. If you hang out with five drunks, with four drunks, you're going to be the fifth drunk.
Mhm.
If you hang out with four fat guys, you're going to be the fifth fat guy.
Yeah.
It's going to happen over time because that's what you feed off of and that's what you see, and that becomes the norm for you, and their habits become your habits, right? So, and that's why I love you guys so much. That's hanging out with you and Gusto and Derek Osiris, um, because I feed off of you guys. You know what I mean? And even those times when I'm not with you guys, when we do our Sunday morning, and you guys that are watching GFTS Sunday morning on the Game Bros channel,
It's
10 a.m.
coming tomorrow.
coming tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Um, but that makes me feel good, and I like when people interact with us on that because I want them to get the idea. Well, hey, if these assholes are up at 10 o'clock Sunday morning doing push-ups and doing burpees, I could do a couple too. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with us. Um, Gene, regular guy mountain biking. Sorry, brother, I haven't gotten to the comments yet. Appreciate you being here, my friend. You have a great Easter too. You and the family. Guys, anybody's into mountain biking, make sure you check out Regular Guy Mountain Biking channel. He's on Instagram and on YouTube. 7 a.m. Right. I'm sorry. Yeah, Derek's out in California, so he's actually up at 7 a.m. with us. But yeah, it's not about the five of us, the four of us getting together, going, hey, let's go on YouTube at 10 o'clock on every Sunday morning, and show everybody how much better we are than them.
Yeah,
You know what I
never,
mean?
never, man.
We just want to show them. We're just, to steal Gene's, we're just regular guys. Only we don't mountain bike. uh, and what do? We get up and we exercise, and that's what everybody should be doing. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Having some form of exercise in your life. So yeah, no, from our standpoint, it's just that we want to see other people doing it too,
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
Um, and to take it a step further about, show me the people that you hang out with, and I'll show you your future, or you're the average of those people that you hang out with. Um, if you hang out with people that are better than you, they're going to lift you up to their level. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And it's the same, but it goes both. If they're down here, if they're doing, point, you're going to do the wrong thing. It's going to be hard for you to resist the temptation.
Definitely,
You
definitely.
know, right?
Let me
The
share
peer
something with
pressure.
you. Let me share something with you. It just happened to me today, Billy. It happened in between yesterday and today. Okay, so yesterday on my screen time that I gave myself because I'm doing this, this little screen fasting, whatever. I run into our brother, bro Derek's video, and he been doing this 100 burpees for Ramadan. Shout out to him, man. And he always does not
He's got he's got to
close
be
hand.
fasting too.
Yeah, he's
He's got to
fasting.
be
Yeah, yeah.
fasting doing it.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, he does
So
his burpees on his he does his burpees on his fist. Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
man, that just inspired me, right? So then, what I go do in the morning, I got my 100 burpees, and he comes in the comments, man, talking about, oh man, I'm trying to get get him on the 8 minutes, right? So I'm like, and I got him on the 8, and I'm like, brother, you got that, man, because I know he got it. He been training all the time, and I just watched his video before I came in here. He got it, 7:46. That's just
There you
the
go.
point you made right there, right? He fed me, then he went through from me to him, and it keeps going around, man. That's I think that's what, and I hope somebody that feel this way comes through this video, man, and really hear this,
Yeah.
because I never come in here, man, to make somebody feel bad, or put them down because they obese. The
No.
other way around, man. I want you to get out of that shit, because look, I'm
Yeah.
a regular guy, man. At least I ain't nothing special.
Right.
And if I can, then anybody can too, man. It just the little effort that you gotta put every day.
Yeah. And as cliche as it sounds, you just hit the nail on the head. Like if I can do it, anybody else can do it. If I'm doing it, I, you know, I've had people say to me like, "Well, yeah, well, it's because of your genes," and it's get the fuck out of here.
Mm-mm, mm-mm,
I don't have any good genes. If you see
mm-mm.
my family tree, man, there's some weak branches. You know what I mean? So I don't come from good stock. You know what I mean? Nothing I'm doing is because I'm better than anybody. I'm not fucking smarter than anybody. I'm not stronger than anybody. It comes down to habits. It
Mhm,
comes down to It's not your situation in life. As much as these doctors, I don't want to get on a rant about the doctors, so I'm gonna hold myself back. But as much as they want to tell you that everything that's wrong with you has to do with your genetics, that's bullshit. ninety
mm,
percent of what's wrong with you, uh, physically and mentally, is because of your habits, because of your
mhm,
choices, not because of your fucking genetics.
mhm,
It's bullshit. You know
mhm,
what I mean? So it comes down. You have to look at what you're doing every day. What decisions are you making every day? And I'm guilty of it too in a lot of aspects of my life. You talk about analysis paralysis. A lot of people ask me, well, where should I start? How should I start working out? Just get down on the floor and do some push-ups, and
Only
you'll
ten,
and
man.
you'll and you, yeah,
Only 10.
you start with just the basics. You start at the bottom and work your way up. It doesn't have to be. It's not complicated. You know, you can complicate it as you go along, as you learn more, as you become stronger, as you become better at what you're doing. But in the beginning, push, pull, squat. It's basic. It's just the basics. But do it all the time. Don't do it Monday and then, oh, yeah, Tuesday I got to go here. Wednesday I got this. Thursday the kids. No, it's got to be all the time. And you'll reap this. And if you don't do it, you'll reap, the debt. It'll be detrimental. You know what I mean? You'll get the bad results as opposed to the good results. So
Yeah, no, man. Yeah, and honestly, man, and Cyrus had a comment here earlier on talking about. I don't know if I can even look. Oh yeah, I can look myself. He was talking about they just want the response. They trolling, and the win for them is getting a response. And you know what, man?
that's a good point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's right. He's right because they get that thrill. They get that's just like being on social media when you get likes and it's that
Mm-hmm.
and people get they actually get that dopamine hit like because sometimes that's the worst thing you could do is react to somebody. It's what do they say? Ignore them and they'll go away. If you just keep going back and forth, you're like I said earlier, you're not going to change anybody's mind. They're not going to change your mind. Your blood pressure is going to go up and your thumbs are going to get sore from typing back and forth. but you're not going to change anybody's mind. It's just you're just going to go round and round. So if you want to waste 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes of your life going back with some asshole whose face you'll never see, you don't even know if it's a real person, right?
Yeah, no,
Then
that's a
waste your
whole
life
nother
doing that.
talk, man.
Yeah, exactly. Let me
That's
let me
a
give a quick shout out to everybody in the chat, Aldo. Our guy Seven Fitness is back. Seven, what's up? Seven, I got to watch. Seven was live actually, Aldo, right before we came on tonight, so we got to check him out.
okay.
Uh, I saw that he was live
I gotta
just
remember
as we were
going his
signing
channel.
on. Osiris is here. Happy Saturday, my brother.
Shout outs to all of them. Frankie's here, man. Shout outs Frankie. She's done it, man. She knows exactly what we're talking about. She's lived it.
Right. You talk about consistency and just starting at the bottom, starting
Mm,
with the basics, and now I mean, she's going to town. I mean, she's putting all of us to shame. But she didn't start off looking for a magic pill. She knew that she had to start, day one from square one. And right, what do they say? That's journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step or whatever.
I would
Getting
love
up
to
the
hear
tree every day.
her experience, man. I would love to hear. Maybe she wants to jump in here one time,
Yeah,
sometime.
yeah.
That
Maybe
that'll be that'll be
maybe
amazing.
maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll have her on one day and she could tell us how she went through everything and what she did.
Yeah, because I think that's important for people to hear what it is. You know what it actually is. Because like I said before, man, I myself I was skinny. I was the opposite. I wanted to gain muscle. I
Yeah,
wanted to get stronger. So I don't know what the experience is from when you a little overweight and to try to
yeah.
lose the weight, man. Because that's hard. That's hard, man.
It is. It is. And it could be, I'm working with some other people now and you have to that's the other thing too is it takes patience
Mm-hmm.
uh and you have to be realistic. Like especially when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to anything, it's never going to be this. It's going to be this, but you
Mm-hmm.
slowly as time goes on, you're going to go down, but then you'll go up this much, maybe down a little bit, but back up. But at the end of the day, if you stay long enough, you're going to wind up where you want to be. But you can't wake up every day and it's not going to be perfect. I've had people you you'll lose 3 pounds in a week, and
Mm-hmm.
then the next week you'll do what you think is the exact same thing, and you stay
Mm-hmm.
the same, or you gain a pound, and you go, "Fuck, what did I do wrong?" You didn't do anything wrong. It's just your body. Just give it time, because you lost three, maybe you gained one. Next week you might lose two, maybe you'll gain a half, maybe you'll stay the same, and then you'll lose one or two again. So over the course of time, it's going to go. But see, it's things like that. People don't have, well, they don't have the patience for it, but you get frustrated because you say, "Well, I'm doing everything right, and I lost 3 pounds last week. How come I didn't do it?" I don't know. I can't answer that. Your body is just things are going on in your body that we can't explain. It's not that simple. But you have to just put those blinders on, get up every day, celebrate the milestones as you go along. Hey, I lost 10 pounds. That's great. You did great. But you got 80 more to go, and we're going to get there. So put that 10 behind you, congratulate yourself, and tell yourself, I lost 10. I can
Mm-hmm.
do it again. You lose another 10. I just did it twice. There's no way I can't do it again. And you know what I'm saying? You just got to, but a lot of people don't. Because it's human nature too. When do we want everything? We want it today. We want it yesterday. We don't want
Mm-hmm.
it 6 months from now. What good is it doing me 6 months from now? I need it now. I want to
Mm-hmm.
lose. I want to lose 20 pounds in the next 2 weeks. Well, it took you fucking 5 years to gain your 50, 60, 70 pounds, and you're not going to go back to being a bikini model in 2 weeks. You got to put
I,
work in. You know?
yeah, that's a good perspective right there. It took you so long to get there. That's
Yeah.
probably how long it's gonna take you to reverse that, which is probably not not that long. Yeah, I believe you can change your whole physique in probably less than a year. Will you say that? I mean, you
Uh,
kind of an expert at this, helping
the
people.
average person, I mean, I've had you could make drastic changes in a matter of weeks, like 6, 8, 10 weeks. I mean, you could
Mm-hmm.
you could become almost a new person in that time.
Mm.
If you get up every day and you do the work, and see, here's the other thing, Aldo, you have to change. The one of the biggest problems is everybody wants to change, but they don't want to change, right? If
Mhm.
that makes sense.
Mhm.
Like, okay, so here's my thing. I figure I want to lose about 30 pounds. I want to start lifting weights. I want to start doing that. Okay, so what time do you go to bed at night? Oh, usually like midnight, 11 o'clock. All right, so let's change it up. Let's start going to bed at like 10 o'clock. Oh, 10 o'clock. Yeah, but I have to do this and I have to do that. Okay, so tell me what you're eating. Tell me what you're eating every day. Well, I eat this and I eat that and I eat this and I eat that. Okay, well, you have to eat for your goals, and I can tell you for a fact that what you're eating isn't going to get you to your goals. So we got to change it up. Yeah, but when I go to work, I'm used to eating that, and So in other words, all you get is pushback a lot of the times. You know what I mean? They come in gung ho. All right, what do I got to do? I'm ready to change. I'm ready to get. I want to be skinny. Okay, let's do this, this, and this. Oh, fuck, I didn't know I'd have to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I thought you were going to give me a magic milkshake or a magic pill. You know what I mean?
It's tough.
So yeah, but again, it's human nature. It's just human nature. But when you get somebody, our friend Frankie, for instance, you always, people like Frankie are like, believe me when I tell you, they're few and far between. You know what I mean? But when you find somebody like that, and when they get going, like you just, this person is, they're motivated. They want to change. You know what I mean? Like what you tell them, and I don't go into it in my personal case. Like I don't go
Mhm.
into it with people saying, "Listen, you got to do everything that I say because everything that I say is going to work."
Mhm.
No, that's not what I say. Tell them what you're doing now is got you to the point where you're what, 50, 60, 70, 80 pounds overweight. So would you agree with me that what you're doing isn't working? Yeah. Okay, then at least let's try what I suggest for now, see what results we get, and then if we have to tweak it along the way, we could always do that. I'm not saying that I have all the answers, but I know one thing's for sure, that everything you're doing isn't working. So if we don't do that anymore, we have a good chance of making,
Making a change.
some positive changes. Exactly. Exactly.
Wow.
So
Shout
see
out
if
to our
anybody
bros,
else
man.
popped in here. Gusto's in the building. Yeah, Gus, you're late for the show. And somebody like me that's always on time, I don't really appreciate that.
No,
But
man. Hey, no, man. This society is fucked up, man. We fucking, and you know what? I don't like to include myself on that, but because I'm just grateful that I understood that early in my life that anything takes a little bit of time,
hmm
just like a seed that you plant. You plant it, you gotta water it for a long time. Like I love the story about bamboo, right? Like it takes 5 years for bamboo to bloom, so you don't see nothing for 5 years, but then once it comes, it just infestates, right? So
yeah,
I'm glad I listened to this story because I'm new at this, Bini. I could say, fuck, man, maybe 9 years where it finally clicked in my head that I wanted to make a change, right?
right.
And few books talk about this. Really, any self development book says this. It's time. It's time.
Yeah.
So one after the other, I read one, I read the other, and then and I noticed that common in all of them.
hmm
Okay, so then I gotta be patient, and I'm like, okay, we just gotta do this, do this, do this, do this, and then one day it's gonna bloom. Shit, I noticed it with my channel.
Right.
I'm trying to get 1,000, man. All right, I'm at three some, but I had two. Me and my
Right.
old lady, you know.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, oh wow, man. Then I got the 50, then I got the 100, then I'm stuck at 300. But I understand that with
Yeah.
time, something is gonna happen. If you keep at
Yeah.
it, something is gotta happen, man. It's just the law of, I don't know, the law of perseverance.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that's something that should be taught in school. They should tell that to kids nowadays. It should be a subject in school. So
Yeah.
I think that'll be a change for society.
That's another rabbit hole we probably don't have time to go down to tonight. But you're absolutely right. It's principles like that
Hmm.
that they should be instilling in these kids when they're very, very young. You
Hmm.
know, but they don't do it, and they never will because it's again, not to get into the whole conspiracy theory thing, but they don't want us educated in that sense.
Mm-mm.
They want us to think that, I mean, I went to high school and I learned Latin, and I
You
joke about it now, like I still remember like some Latin words and Latin phrases, but I've never in my life used
use it.
Latin. But they don't teach you anything practical in a sense
Sadly.
in school. They really don't. So yeah, that's something that. But and the self help, you like you're right. Any self, there are self help principles that are in stone, that are set in
Hmm.
stone. And
Hmm.
actually, you know, uh, I was raised Catholic, and but I'm certainly not like a biblical scholar or anything. But if you go back to the Bible, really, the Bible is the best self help book in the
Yes, sir.
world,
Yes,
right?
sir.
I don't care who it is, whether it was Napoleon Hill with Think and Grow Rich or any of these guys today that put their spin on it, like they're telling you something different.
Hmm.
Uh, they're not. They're taking those same principles from whenever the Bible came about. You can argue with that too, but they're taking those core principles and they're putting their spin on it. Just like with
Hmm.
the exercise, do push-ups this way, and you want to blah, blah, just fucking. It is a push-up, right? There's the basic principle, right? And it's the same thing with all these self-help concepts. There's basic laws that you're not going to get around. You know what I mean? And if you taught people that, you know, most of us would be much better off. But
Definitely, man.
we learn all of this stuff that's so valuable. Unfortunately, we learn it through, if we learn it at all, it's through trial and error.
Man, amen to
And you
that.
and you have to make a lot of errors in order to learn it. You know what I mean? But if they instilled these principles in kids when they were much younger, uh, we'd be much better off, as a society as a whole, as a world as a whole, really. You know.
And
Um,
I'm gonna circle it back real quick, Vinny. I'm gonna circle it back to social media right here.
hmm
We started talking about social media, and now we're talking about these principles. And on myself, it was social media that I found out about this. So that's how powerful these platforms are. Because in myself, that was social media that I do know there was a guy there talking about some of these principles, and I got curious. And I believe because I was at a low in my life at the time.
yeah.
I wanted something better for my life. I wanted to be something else, something that I was gonna enjoy. Some explore my potential, and which I'm still doing. I don't know when I'm really gonna get to it. I'm trying every day.
You're never going to get to it. None of us are ever going to get to it 100%. But that's the beauty of it. Is that you realize that you don't know it all. You realize that you're still trying to better yourself, and it's just constant. And you're going to get better and better and better. Are you ever going to get perfect? No,
Mm,
I'm not. Nobody is. But the fact that you're striving to do that, that's what puts you above 99, really, let's say 95% of the people. And that's true,
yeah,
you
man.
know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's thanks to social media. So it's a blessing that we gotta learn how to manage, man. Because I mean, it's getting so smart now that it feeds you, right? It feeds you.
Yeah.
Even I notice, uh, even by the way you look at your screen, and I recently
Mhm.
found this out on like for example, sometimes I look for my work. Sometimes I look for references, right, to draw something or whatever. And if I'm looking and I go to Pinterest sometimes, and I'm looking in there, and I've noticed that if I look in this corner, right, let's say it's an eagle here, like I'm looking for an eagle, and then as I'm scrolling, then it's like showing me more eagles. I'm like, oh my god, this thing is so. intuitive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting so smart, which is good, which is good. But I think we gotta be really aware on the shit we watch, man.
Yeah. It knows. It knows. It tracks what you do. So it tracks everything you do to the point that you honestly you would swear that this fucking phone knows what I'm thinking. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? They
Mhm.
know they must know what's going on in my head right now.
Mhm.
That's how accurate they are when it comes to this shit. You know? So it is scary in that respect. So, yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, you have to be aware of it and you have to use it to your advantage, but it's easy to get caught up. Like we started tonight talking about the toxicity and stuff. And if you're the type of person, now this goes back to this self development. Uh, if you're that reactive, especially like on social media, if somebody just puts up a comment and says, "Well, you don't know what you're talking about," or "You're doing it wrong," and you're like, "Fuck this guy!" If you're reacting that way, you need to do some self development.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like
Definitely.
you still need to work on yourself. You know what I mean? Because why would you give that person or whoever's behind that screen, why would you give them that space in your head? You
Oh
know?
man, well
So
said.
look, because it's almost like now they get like in a sense they're almost getting like a control over you. I can make this asshole go back and forth. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that are sitting there laughing their ass off. This fucking guy answered me. I can't believe, you know.
Man,
And
man.
then they'll just like, I'm sure people get off on things like that. So,
Yeah, man. My last interaction on my, because I have two Instagrams. I have my business Instagram, and then I have the
give them your
Crusades
business.
motivation.
What's your business Instagram?
It's A underscore DE underscore LA underscore Cruz. A de la Cruz underscore in
A De
between.
La Cruz with all underscores. Okay. On
Yes, sir.
Instagram.
Yeah, on Instagram. But my last interaction on this shit was so fucking hilarious, man. That guy had me cracking up because I took it like that. That's one thing that I've been teaching myself to not take shit serious like that, And this motherfucker was trolling me, man. And he's asking me, "Hey,
he
man," he's
he
like,
threw the line out and he hooked you like
he fucking got me good, man. He's like, "Hey, man," he's like, "I'm trying to get a six pack, man. What do you think I should do?" Right? And I'm like, "Oh shit, this a kid, probably 19, I don't know, 20. You could see his young face or whatever." And he had a face. So he's like, "Hey, man, how can I get a six pack? I see you got one." I'm like, "Yeah, man. Yeah." I'm like, "Well, for me, I think you should do the wheel, the ab wheel,
yeah, yeah.
because it was, for me, it worked so good." So I'm like, "Man, you shoot the ab wheel, man. You start easy because you can injure yourself." And then okay, so then was that? Then he came like the next day, talking about, "Hey, man, do you have a six pack then?" I'm like, "What?" I'm like, this. I'm like, "What?" So guy, I'm like, do you do the ab wheel, man, or what? So it was kind of like that. He was just fucking with me, man. But I had a fucking time with that guy. And finally, I
Yeah.
said, "Man, I'm fucking with you, man. Thank you." I always give people thank you, man. Even they wanna they wanna do some bad to me, man. I thank them, man. Shit, man. That dude.
uh so it's yeah, Gus. Any using it? It's underscore underscore at underscore underscore dash underscore on Instagram.
Yeah, because Instagram doesn't let you do spaces, so you have to do an underscore.
My name is on that. I do the same. I have that same pattern on mine. So yeah, but it is what it is. Like you said, going back to what we said earlier, you have to be aware. You have to
Hmm.
don't let them get to you. You know what I mean?
No.
Just keep your head about you and just realize like where it's coming from. It's going to be
Hmm.
somebody who's just miserable. Maybe they're miserable in their own lives and they're trying to make themselves feel better. Maybe they're just trying to get a laugh and just
Yeah.
just get a rise out of people because there are people like that. Like that's their entertainment. Let me just
Hmm.
fuck with people. you know,
Hmm. See who
I used to
falls
work
for
with guys like that. Yeah, right, exactly,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I'll get a laugh out of it. But Yeah, so you just got to watch. You just got to watch. But and do your self development. Do your self development. Do your, do some reading. All of us really should be on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keep your mind healthy as much as physical exercise, and it does. The physical exercise is going to help your mind, but you really have to work on yourself, and it's never going to end. You
Mm-mm.
That's something you definitely can't look at with an end point. Maybe weight loss you can. I think I'm good now. I want to maintain this weight, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
think you ever get to a place when you're talking about self development. I don't think any human walking the earth is going to get to a point and go, okay, I'm here, I'm good. No more self
Mm-hmm.
development for me. I know it all now. You know what I mean? I don't think so. I think every day you wake up, there's always room for improvement. You know. So
Yeah, man. I mean, it's been around since you talk. That's the Bible, man. That's what I think. I believe that's what the
yeah,
Bible was created for. To help people develop and become something more.
yeah,
Shit, the Romans. I
hmm
mean, they had their philosophers. I feel like
hmm
reading philosophy like that is so fucking powerful that I'm like, fuck, man. And I'm like, what they don't teach this shit at school? Like this little
yeah,
small little like I read this guy a lot, Epictetus. I recommend to read this guy,
hmm
Epictetus, right? And he just got these little passages, these small little verses, man, that make my mind just fucking go and think and examine my own self,
yeah,
the my actions, right? How I interact with people. I'm like, oh my
yeah,
god, I've been fucking up this whole time. I better get it
yeah,
together. And that's just a small verse. Same with the Bible,
yeah,
man. There's little things that are so powerful for our daily life. I'm a big
yeah,
believer in that, man, and that's I think that I instill in my kid. And I mean, I think he's only 9. I don't think he gets it, but I hope he will one day, man. I'm like, and I tell him, I'm like, look, this man is gonna help you so much when you're older, man. Make sure you
yeah,
understand this and leave it here. Those
yeah.
small things.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned the guy that you mentioned, Epictetus, right? That's who you're talking about.
Epictetus, yeah, I
His name
call him
is
Epictetus.
Epictetus. Yeah. Well, that's the way it's spelled. That's you said it phonetically. You said it the way it's
Okay,
spelled.
okay.
But yeah, but
Thank you.
he was actually a slave back in the
Hmm.
day, and then he was freed. Um, and he's one of the more popular of the Stoics.
Hmm.
And and again, one of the biggest principles, like you talk, all of them today, like not today, but like a few years back, you had that guy Jim Rohn, but
Hmm.
one common thread in all of these books that you always hear is that it's not what happens to you, it's it's your attitude towards it, it's how you react to it,
Hmm.
right? And if it's something that you don't have control, and that's what this principle came. I'm sure it was even before him, but Epictetus is one of his more famous principles is that don't worry about what you don't have control over. You live your life worrying about what you can control.
Hmm.
You can control how you react to things, which which is I'm actually glad you brought this up because we're talking about reacting on social media, right?
Hmm.
So somebody can put up a comment, somebody could make a comment about you, hey, go fuck yourself, you're doing it wrong, you don't know what you're doing.
You
Now,
ugly.
yeah, right. Uh, Now you could ignore that because you don't know who this guy is. You have no control over what he's writing. You know what I mean? So the best thing to do is just, you know what, go fuck yourself, and then I'm going to go on my day and just like it
Hmm.
never happened because you can't control what this guy's going to do, right? So the worst thing you could do is, again, I think Osiris said earlier, like they're just looking for a reaction. So if you waste your time going back at this guy, you can't control what he's going to say or do. You have no control over it. You don't have any control over the weather. So you got to live with it. If the rain's coming down, get a fucking umbrella.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? You
That's
just
it.
you can't stand there going, fucking stop already. Just stop. It's not going to happen. So you have to adjust and just worry about the things that you have the control over. And that's that's a very common principle that you'll see with all of these self-help gurus. But again, they're not inventing anything. They're just taking these core principles. They might make it sound a little different, put their spin on it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
To make it sound like they came up with this. Oh, I invented this principle, and this is the way you have to live. It was invented
That's
way
it.
before any of us were here. You
Goes
know?
way back, man. I think it goes
Yeah.
even way back than Epictetus. I mean, it was
Hmm.
way back. I believe that. Hey, man, I don't know shit, right? This is just things that I believe sometimes. I believe we were left in this earth at the beginning by whoever, right? With these things already in a scroll. Maybe it was a teacher that knew these things, and that's how long they've been around,
Hmm.
right? But
Yeah.
I think as the time went, maybe it was too powerful, and somebody's like, "Fuck, man, they can't be too powerful out here because we gotta
Yeah.
keep this power here." So these
Right.
principles, yeah, man, they I think they've been since the beginning, and I
Yeah.
think it's so cool. And like I said again, I'm grateful for social media because I myself I found them through here. If this phones didn't exist, I probably would never found out about this. I would never find, like, I hear people talking about books, and I'm always wondering. I'm like, shit. Okay, I have a list on my phone that every time I hear somebody that I can believe, right? Somebody that's doing the thing, I'm like, oh shit, I'm writing that down. That's
Right.
giving an example of how is a positive thing in their life. I'm saving that book. I'm gonna read it later. When I next
Yeah.
time I do a buy, I'm gonna remember about that book.
Yeah. And it's all out there. You know what I mean? Like you can
Mm-hmm.
go. I do the same thing as you. I've
Mm.
been doing it for years. I've been doing it for years. You know,
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
I've been through a lot of the books. You know, but the good thing is, you talk about having access to information. So many of these books, you can go right on YouTube and get the audio book. You could
Mm-hmm.
do a quick search. You know how many books I've gotten just doing a search on Google? PDF for Think and Grow Rich, PDF for, Darren Hardy, The Compound Effect, whatever. You name the book, and so many of them are there. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? And so many of them are on YouTube and the PDF. I've downloaded the PDF and sit there and read along and listen to it on YouTube. So
Oh wow.
there's more than enough stuff that you could get out, that you could get there. That's right at your fingertips, literally. Right? It's right here. It's right here. All of this stuff. The Bible. You can go online and read
Mm.
the Bible. Right?
Mm.
You can go online right now and listen to Marcus Aurelius. Right?
Mm.
You
That's
could
a good
listen.
one.
All of them. Epictetus, Seneca, all of those guys, all of the Stoic guys, all of their stuff. It's all over. It's just a matter of doing it. If you really want to know, you know. Um, but that's just it. You have to get motivated enough, not only to work on your body, but you got to be motivated enough to work on your mind, because most of us like the fucking mind rot. It's better just to sit there and watch a baseball game or watch a football game or scroll through TikTok. You know what I
Oh
mean?
fuck, fucking TikTok,
Because
man.
you
I
don't
think
have to
that's
use
that's
your
why I
brain.
haven't gotten
Yeah,
it.
yeah. But again, like you said, like all of them the same, because I catch myself too sometimes. I'll be on Instagram looking for something like music for a short or something, and then, well, oh, I just saw this, and then, okay, now I start scrolling, and before you
Fuck,
know it,
man.
15 minutes, 20 minutes pass. And I really have to force myself, shut this fucking phone off, put it down, and
Mm-hmm.
get out of here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Get up and take a walk or something. Go get another cup of
Mm-hmm.
coffee. But I mean,
No, yeah, man. They're making these
so
things so powerful, man. They're smart, I mean, they scientists, they brain scientists where they make it that way, so we like it so much that we stay in there. I mean, that's their business. Their business is to keep us on the screen. I mean, we're doing this for them.
yeah,
Hopefully, this is a better thing, though. You know.
yeah. Well, it's just like, I'm always, you guys know me, especially like, you and Gus and Osiris, that I'm always railing about the food and how they make the food so that it's addicting, right? We talk about the bliss point where they put so much sugar, so much salt. They make it a certain texture that you'll like it to feel on your tongue. So they want you to keep eating it. And it's the same thing on social media. They know they know our attention span. That's why, like, everything now is geared towards short form videos, like the TikTok. YouTube got into the shorts. Um, Instagram's the same thing with the reels and stories, which can only be like 15 seconds, because they know that our attention span uh, is 8 seconds. And I forget what it is. Like it's the time as you're scrolling. If I say the time, I'll get it wrong, but it's minuscule that you make the decision to stop and watch that. Like your eye can tell you, do I want to watch this? You understand what I'm saying? Like you're scrolling so quick, and then what is it that makes you that catches your eye to stop on that for the 8 seconds? You know, and you and I have had conversations about the length of videos on YouTube, and how people you look at if you have a YouTube channel, any of you guys that have YouTube channels, you look at the analytics, people will watch for the first 30 seconds, and if it doesn't catch their interest in less than that, they click right off. And you can see the
Mm-hmm.
drop off. You can see the drop
Mm-hmm.
off and on the view time of your video. So yeah, you don't have much time to catch them, and they know that, and that's why they're gearing everything towards the short form because they know we don't have the attention span to sit there and watch anything for any real length of time. We want that instant satisfaction. Boom. Okay, that caught my eye. I'll watch it. 5, 6, 7. Oh, I'm going on to the next one. Right? That they don't. It doesn't last. So everything's got to be quick, quick, quick. Instant gratification. Instant gratification. That's all we want. And it shows. I mean, it shows just the way the world is. Everything's quick, quick, quick. I forget again, like if you look at the amount of times throughout the day we see advertisements and this and that, it would boggle the mind, like how we're bombarded with this shit from the minute we wake up. Um, and I mean, I do it. I know you probably do it. Almost everybody does it. What's the first thing you do in the morning? You grab the phone.
I don't. I don't. I made myself
Good.
not to. Yeah,
Yeah.
no. That's a discipline that I put on myself. Hell
But
no.
what'd you just say? You made yourself not do it
Mhm. Mhm.
because you were inclined to do it,
Mhm.
right? You had to
Mhm.
you had to purposely stop yourself from doing that, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's a
So yeah.
discipline. It's a discipline. I understood it, and I understood it from a fucking book because they talk about yo, you gotta be careful what you feed to your mind on the first minutes that you awake. So I definitely don't do that. I myself, let me share this with you guys. I myself pray first and really take a minute to appreciate the blessings that I have,
Hmm.
right? Even if it's a bad fucking day, Beanie, because I have those motherfuckers often, right? So I really try to make an effort to see, oh man, thank you, God. Thank you for this, for that. I really try to take mine on that. And then I go into
Yeah.
reading, man. That's just myself, but that's something that I had. Hey, trust me, I'm wondering about what's going on YouTube. Believe me.
Yeah.
But but yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
It's a
calling
it's a
you.
it's, a,
No,
it's calling me.
no matter what you're doing, you're hearing it. You're like, what is that? YouTube? Like
Yeah,
even
yeah,
yeah. See, or Osiris and Gusto, right? First thing in the morning, YouTube and coffee.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I understand that that's not healthy for my mind, right? So I
no.
don't do it, man.
Yeah.
It takes me a couple hours to get in it, honestly, man. But
Hmm.
it took a long time to get that ingrained. Really, it's just like working out, man. It takes a long time. Where it takes such a long time to work out, and when you don't work out, you don't feel like it's you.
Right.
It takes
Agreed.
so long, man. Like you experience that when you don't work out, it's like you fucking weird. Like you just feel weird. Fucking. I have to take a day off because I gotta heal my body, but it feels weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Osiris said he's not going to watch us in the morning anymore because we showed him the error of his ways. Good. Good. You
good.
learned
Yeah,
something,
yo,
bud.
I want that for you, man. Seriously, I don't even mind that, man. I want that for you because, hey, man, it's just
But see,
look. Go ahead.
good. Well, just to your point about you make yourself not do it. And now your habit is to you know sit and do something else. But the thing is, we you have to build a new habit. We don't we When they say break the old habit, we're not really breaking it, we're just replacing it with something
Yeah.
else, so that old habit is always there. So
Hmm.
there's a really big chance that you could fall right back into it if you don't develop a new strong habit and make that new habit really strong, right? Because eventually if you start getting weak on the new habit, you're going to regress right back to the old one. you'll pick up that phone and you'll be on YouTube and TikTok.
Yeah, that's like what you shared with us. That book, the Atomic Habits,
Hmm.
Atomic Habits. That's yeah. They talk about that. You got to replace it with a different habit.
Right.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah. And again, it comes down to the consistency. And you could say, you'll hear this. What do they say? Like a new habit takes 21 days of this. And I don't think you could put a number on it. I think we're all different in that respect. But
Mhm.
you have to be consistent with it and really build that habit. And you have to be serious about it. And it takes work. It takes work because, like I said, that other habit is always going to be sitting there on the side calling you back. When you say I broke the habit, you didn't break the habit. You just replaced it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So the other one is there. Just like, in uh, if you look at people with addictions, um, well, maybe that's not a good analogy because I'm sure there is like a physical addiction, but there's a mental addiction to stuff too. And if you put yourself back in a position where you have access to alcohol, or again, going back to your friends, if you jump in with, right, how many people say like when they kick an addiction, they have to get like a new circle of friends? Because if you kicked an addiction and now you go back to hanging out with your five friends that are addicts, you're fucked. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that doesn't work. Yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't
it
work.
doesn't work.
So,
No,
yeah.
definitely.
So, all right, my friend. I think we burned these people's ears a little long enough for tonight. What do you think?
Yes, man. No, thank you, man. This is beautiful, man. It's always good to conversate. Like same in the show tomorrow, 10 a.m. Gusto channel, Game Bros channel, man. Same thing. It just grows. I'm just grateful. I'm
Yeah.
just grateful, man. Thank you. It's beautiful.
All right. Let me say thanks again to Osiris Gusto from Game Bros channel, 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. GFTS 7 Fitness. Make sure you guys check out 7 Fitness. He's over in Long Island, New York. Frankie F16. She's just a superstar. Uh, my friend Gene, regular guy mountain biking. Appreciate all you guys for being here tonight. Aldo, I always appreciate you, my friend.
Thank
I
you.
guess I'll see. I guess I'll see you in the morning. Like we didn't have enough of each other tonight,
All
so I'll
right,
be
we're gonna
right
work
back at it
out though,
tomorrow.
man. That's a different type of show over
You got it.
there.
All right, brother.
Yeah.
We're gonna close it out, guys. Thanks for being here. Get your reps in. We're gonna talk to you in the next one. Have a good night, guys, and happy Easter to everybody.
Happy Easter. Thank you. Bless you.